morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Kim. Today is Thursday, August 18th, 2022. And we begin with a miracle discovery leading to the happiest of reunions. With 2 months having passed since Jeff Bonert's 13-year-old dog Abby ran away in June, he thought chances were slim he'd ever see his beloved poodle-hound mix again. Then a neighbor texted with news that people exploring a local cave close to their homes in rural Mississippi had found a dog inside. Sure enough, it was Abby. Somehow, the resourceful pup had survived the chilly temperatures and months of isolation. Not long afterward, the group of explorers rescued Abby from the cave, fed her, and reunited her with her shocked and grateful owner. Despite her adventure, Bonert says he's amazed how fast Abby is springing back to normal, wagging her tail and acting like herself again. It's game on in South Williamsport, Pennsylvania. The 75th annual Little League World Series is in full swing following yesterday's opening day of play. 20 teams, made up mostly of 10 to 12-year-old boys from around the world, compete to see who will reign supreme. In all, 85,000 players, family members, and spectators are expected to converge on Central Pennsylvania over the next week and a half. It's estimated that Central Pennsylvania's local businesses will take in as much as $50 million in revenue, a windfall the community is counting on after 2020's tournament was canceled due to COVID and attendance was limited last year. To catch all the action, tune in to ABC and ESPN and check your local listings. Election Day in the U.S. may not be a national holiday, but the NBA is giving all of its players the day off anyway. In its just-released schedule for the upcoming season, there's a big blank space on November 8th. It's a first for the league, which historically only took Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve off. The unprecedented move is to encourage Americans to get out and vote. In the weeks leading up to the election, teams will also be sharing information with their fans about local voting deadlines. It's all part of a plan to promote nonpartisan civic engagement. Those looking to get their fill of the hardcore action before Election Day can tune in the night before, when all 30 teams will play. It looks like the end of the line for America's gas-powered muscle cars. Michigan-based Dodge Motors announced that in 2023 it'll end production of its Challenger and Charger models, both of which are known for their powerful V8 engines and high road performance. Muscle cars first hit the highways back in 1949, and their popularity peaked in the late 60s. Going forward, the automaker will focus on its transition to electric vehicles, but all may not be lost for fans of the model's retro appeal. The company's CEO has hinted at a new golden age of muscle cars, during which the famous name brands could reappear in electrified versions as early as 2024. Automobiles aren't the only vehicles in for big changes as a new age of supersonic air travel is set to take off. American Airlines has ordered 20 sleek new Overture jets, which according to the manufacturer will transport travelers to their destination in about half the normal time. Flying at speeds of Mach 1.7 or 1,304 miles per hour, a trip from Seattle to Tokyo would take 6 hours instead of 10. And there's also good news for the environment. The planes, which will carry 65 to 80 passengers, are said to run on 100% sustainable aviation fuel, making them carbon neutral. And American is not alone. Last year, United Airlines committed to purchasing 15 Overture jets for its fleet. But it may be a while before most flyers can satisfy their need for speed. The plane is currently still in the design phase, with a rollout planned by the end of the decade. That's it for KidNuz. Now today's KidNuz quiz. Where was Abby the dog found after going missing for 2 months? In a cave. What anniversary is the Little League World Series celebrating? It's 75th. Why is the NBA taking off Election Day, November 8th? To encourage people to vote. What's the name of the new Supersonic jet now in production? Overture. And in our Kid News Kicker, the annual guessing game is over. The Girl Scouts of America has released its newest cookie flavor, and it's a twist on a familiar classic. The Raspberry Rally is billed as a sister cookie to the popular Thin Mint, with a crisp raspberry center dipped in chocolate coating. And in another twist, which may ruffle some cookie-eating feathers, the new flavor will only be available online as a way to build up Scouts' e-commerce skills. Web sales begin in February. Before we go, we want to shout out our Kid News teachers, starting with Mrs. Thomas and her Rainbow Rockets at Rainbow Elementary in Madison, Alabama. Ms. Peterson's social studies class at Scott Charter in Scott, Arizona. Mrs. Erickson and her Eagles at Mary B. Lewis in Bloomington, California. And Mrs. Roth and her Tigers at Clemson Elementary in Clemson, South Carolina. Thanks for listening, everyone. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And we hope you tune in for more Kid News tomorrow morning.